everybody, what's going on? Whoop. Am I still? Okay, good. I was making sure. I thought my fader was not up. No, it's up. It's up. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name's Dave McRae. Welcome to episode 280 of McRae Live. The date today is Thursday. I was going to say August. It's not. It's September the 5th, 2024, 7:05 p.m. Oh, is it 7:05? Yeah, it is 7:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4:05 Pacific Standard Time. And yeah, I have a very special guest on the show today. Haven't had a guest on the show in a while, but I'm very excited to talk about this because, of course, as you know, I'm a huge Black Christmas fan, and it's me, Billy Chapter 2. You guys know all about that. So I was very excited when these guys reached out to me to talk about this. I think this is really cool, and I think you guys will too. So without further ado, because we're on a bit of a time crunch today, let's welcome Anthony Massey to the show. Anthony, thank you for being here.
I am so happy to be here to talk about my favorite subject. One of my favorite subjects, Black Christmas.
One of your amazing. Yeah. It's so before we begin, let's I'll give you the floor and you kind of tell a bit about who you are, your background in the horror community, especially because you have some very significant ties to the Halloween world. That's right, fans. I said the Halloween world. So you can tell us a bit about that and sort of what led you to Stop the Killer Games and to where we are kind of now.
I'd love to. Yeah. So if you know my name or have seen my face, it's probably because of the stuff I've done in the horror genre. And I've done basically documentaries for Halloween, Friday the 13th, Scream, Psycho, Unknown Dimension was the documentary we did for the Paranormal Activity movies. I've done a whole bunch of them. And I also I was the guy that ran the website at HalloweenMovies.com for 7 years. So back when like Resurrection came out and like right after, what was it, H2O Resurrection, Rob Zombie's remake, like all the way up until that point. So yeah, and I used to like write all the articles for the site and all that and everything. So my love of horror movies has sort of carried me very far. And so
hang on a sec. Sorry about that. I didn't realize it was going to disrupt your view here. I've got both of you in. So 1 second here. Let me get you both set up here in the window because we're also bringing in the author of the I'm going to say new version, but I guess a new tie-in of the updated Halloween book, correct?
The Black Christmas.
Yeah, sorry, the Black Christmas book, not Halloween. Sorry, I got Halloween on my mind. I've got Halloween. 1 second here. Yeah, so keep talking, and I will get this sorted out. All right, go ahead, Anthony. You have the floor.
No, so basically, my whole career has all been about horror movies. I've worked on most of the major franchises, and so this game. So back in about 3 years ago, I was working with the producers of the original Silent Night, Deadly Night. And we had this idea to create a board game based on it. And I created it. So I designed the game. I spent a couple months researching how to design games and stuff. And we put it on Kickstarter and it did really well. And all of a sudden I had this idea to create a board game company that made horror board games, like mostly based on slasher movies. And so it took off. It became this huge passion. I was like, really into this idea of creating these new ways to experience movies. And so that's where Stop the Killer Games came from. And so the Black Christmas campaign is, I think, my 4th or 5th campaign. And, you know, the people who are pledging, our backers, we owe everything to them because they're the ones that are putting in the money to make the games. And without them, you know, we wouldn't have been a company. So if you're watching and you're a Black Christmas fan, please go to the Kickstarter. It's live right now. It ends on Thursday of next week, and pick up a game because you won't be able to get it anywhere else. It's a 3D view box, which means when you hold the box, and this is a prototype of it, you can kind of look inside.
That's awesome.
And see the girls. The lighting is kind of like crappy, but you can, this is a handmade. The factory handmade this, but this is what it will pretty much look like. You can see them decorating the tree, and so the experience of going into the house and being battling against Billy kind of starts when you pick up the box because you're already looking inside the house,
Right.
and then you go into it and you unfold the board and now you're in the house and you play one of the characters. All the characters are in the movie that are on the game. And it's so fun. And what you're trying to do is trace the phone number that Billy's calling from. So it's a co-op game, and everyone is decoding digit by digit. And you have this really cool pad, a separate board that looks like a phone, and you're filling in the digits. And while he's killing people, and when you're in the house, you have to go around and complete little tasks. There's like little flasks from Mrs. Mac, and
That's awesome.
and Claude is in
That's
there. And
fantastic.
it's if you love the movie, you are going to love this game. And so, we didn't stop there. We created our tie-in novel, and I'm so glad Armando's joining us. I
Armando
mean, what
is
a
here.
great surprise.
Yes, let's
Hi,
bring
guys.
him on, and I'm going to move over. There you go. Now he's on. Now he's live. I
Look at Armando. Come on. You don't wear that every day.
no, and I love the. Is it a black? Oh, it is. It's a
It
black
is black.
one.
It's black. Oh my God.
Amazing. Armando, nice to meet you. Thank you
Yeah.
for joining us. Really appreciate it. And yeah, tell us a bit about your, I mean, this is not your first go around with horror novels either. And tell us a bit about, well, look, I see Anthony's ready. He's all set. He's all set. Tell us a bit about yourself, about the horror novels that you've done. And of course, the Black Christmas one, the one that you've, I understand that you used the film as inspiration, obviously, but, you're expanding a little bit on the lore and sort of adding some new kind of interesting things in there. What if, so, what about this? Maybe some new characters. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, this will be my fifth novelization with Stop the Killer, which
Awesome.
we have this incredible collaboration going on, which began with My Bloody Valentine, which was such a joy. But we went straight from that into Silent Night, Deadly Night, and then Happy Birthday to Me, which came out this past May. Now we have Basket Case due in October, followed by Black Christmas. So it's all been leading
Three
now
books
to
in
here.
1 year. Yeah.
Jeez.
And Black Christmas is absolutely, it's like hollowed horror ground. So it's incredible to be here,
Yeah.
living within that sorority house, constantly in Christmas mode. And it's a scary time of year.
Yeah. Well, and
I think
sorry, no, I was just going to say, and it must feel great to be able to, contribute in that way, and to add your own sort of flair and style to an updated version of the novel. I mean, it's I just think that's awesome.
it's incredible that it's the 50th anniversary for Black Christmas, and yet it feels so timely as I write about it. And it is a new novelization, but it's firmly set in 1974.
Right.
We are in the original territory, and I'm basing it both off of the film that we know, as well as the original Roy Moore screenplay,
Right.
which oddly enough was co-authored but uncredited by Timothy Bond,
Mm.
who was one of the writers on Happy Birthday to Me years
Interesting.
later. So it's my second time dealing with his material. But there was a weird division of credits and labor, and so he was not credited on that script. But it's a huge screenplay. It's over 160 pages.
Wow.
So there's a lot of material in there that we haven't seen before.
Right.
Whether or not it was filmed or not, I'm not sure. So a lot of that's coming in. But, with Stop the Killer, one of the great things on all of these properties that I've been able to write with is the incredible amount of creative freedom I've been allowed to taking these familiar worlds and, like you said, adding my style to it. And I have a very distinct writing style and outlook, and somehow it's worked for all of these other novelizations. And of course, I'm applying it here to Black Christmas, but that doesn't mean that I'm just repeating things or going to give you the story that we know exactly from the movie. there's a lot of elaboration that I've been allowed to bring to this
Right.
to make it even to make us understand it more. I'm not exactly here to explain every question away.
Right.
Some of
That's
the
good.
mystery is a big part of it, and that's why it works. And so things that will still remain a mystery where they need to, but it's such a scary book. It's a
Mhm.
scary story, and I'm really leaning into that. I'm constantly terrified writing this book, and I know if it's going to scare me, it's going to work on the readers. And my jaw just keeps hitting the floor. I think this is a very rewarding piece to work on.
Yeah.
I
It's
hope
definitely your
everybody's,
scariest book.
I think it
We've
is.
obviously read all, I mean, it's the scariest one. You know, you had so much fun with Silent Night, Deadly Night and like Grandpa and but then you terrified us with Mother Superior and that and but here, I mean, it's Black Christmas. I mean, it's the movie is so unnerving, but in the novel you get to do stuff that you can't do in the movie. You can get inside heads and you can expand on characters and
Well,
so that's what's great about it. I've only read a half of it because Armando's still writing it right
right.
now. And there was something that happened. He left me hanging at the end of this chapter, and I was like, "Damn it!"
Well,
And
what's so
I
great
loved
too
it.
is that obviously I've watched a lot of the streams that you guys have done, and you mentioned it here as well as that the original screenplay was about 160 pages long, which is, I mean, unless you're doing Lord of the Rings or something, that's far too long. And some of it was handwritten, and some of it was
Yes.
typed out, and all that kind of stuff. So to be able to go in and decipher it and go through it, and there's probably things that are faded now, and you're like, what does that say? I got to make sure that says that. But you're right. There's probably a lot that is, from the original writer that you're like, oh, that wasn't in the movie, but I could actually use that for the novel, almost like like an extended cut kind of thing. Like the novel is it's kind of appearing as this extended cut of Black Christmas or something like that maybe we've never seen before from a certain perspective, which is a really, really, really cool thing and different, especially for the 50th anniversary. And at least I'm assuming based on the images, hardcover, right? I mean, it looks
Yes.
beautiful. I mean, just looks absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. So
We want the books to be like have that wow factor,
yeah,
and it's not like paperbacks and stuff. I love paperbacks, but like the best expression of the 50th anniversary tie-in novel, it should be hardcover, dust jacket, and we have a really cool bookmark, which I'll show you. Hold on a second.
oh, it's probably a gigantic stuffed unicorn bookmark. Here it
No,
comes.
no, no.
Oh
So
no,
it's
okay,
just
here it
really
is.
good. It's this. It's basically.
Oh, I love it.
It's like and it's got Black Christmas on one side and Silent Night, Evil Night on the other.
Oh, I love it. Nice,
And
nice.
it's bookmarks are typically they're not this shape, so we
Yeah.
had to have a custom cut, and it's just we really just want when you get it to really appreciate it. I mean, and it's not about us. It's about saying, hey, we love you, Black Christmas. We
Right.
think you're amazing,
Right.
and
And it's important.
that's what we're doing here.
Exactly.
So,
And it's important to note too, folks, that this is an officially licensed game. So this is not
yes.
just, going under the radar or anything like that. This is officially licensed. And this is, I did put the Kickstarter link in the chat, but let me do it again. I'm just going to put it in there right now. There it is right there. So again, check it out. If you're into board games and, especially something like this. I mean, this is really cool. The 3D sort
Very
of box.
special,
It's very
yeah.
special, it's unique. It's unique. And of course, Kickstarter is very similar to Indiegogo in the sense that, there's different tiers and different things that you can get for, the different tiers that you pick up. But there's lots of great artwork there, lots of great goodies, including a replica glass unicorn. And if you're a Black Christmas fan, you know all about the glass unicorn.
Oh my God.
So do you?
All right. So one of the pledge levels,
Yeah.
so you can get the game just by itself, but there is a level that has the game in the book. There is a level that has the game in the unicorn, and then there's all three of them. And then we just added, it's called a hex deck. It's a card game series called Hex Decks that we have here at Stop the Killer, and we've done them for Ghostface, we've done them for Happy Birthday to Me, and they all look and play the same. So if you have one, you can play the other. We have Candyman. We did this with one with Fright Rags. So we did one for Black Christmas, and you have to get it. It's just so fun. It's a solo game. It's solitaire, and you can play the game while you're watching the movie. And there's incredible illustrations by an amazing artist named Yannick Bouchard, who he created is it Phil, Andrea Martin's character? You really don't see her death in the movie.
You don't, no.
You don't, but you do on our kill card.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's like he killed her, right? So we're like, well, we don't want to show her looking behind the door, so we went ahead and created the kill. But let me show you. I have the prototypes for the unicorns right here on my desk.
Okay, this is exciting.
Very quickly show you. All right, so in the game, the last stretch goal, which you're almost ready to reach, is this tiny little unicorn. Okay, so it's showing it for scale. It's like the size of my ear.
It looks like a table, like you could play it on a board.
It looks like a chess piece.
Yeah, it does.
You know.
Yeah.
And so you'll get the campaign will exceed it, but it's little, right? Cute.
Yep.
So the first thing, so we wanted to do a replica life-size version of the unicorn. The problem is there's no way to get accurate measurements on it because you don't see it a lot in the movie. So you can only kind of gauge its size by Billy's hand and like how he's holding it. And so we thought it was, and I'm just what I'm taking you through. We thought it was like 8.5 inches. For some weird reason, we're like, oh, let's size it at that.
Right.
And so this is what we came up with. And this is resin. So it's not very clear. And it was obviously too small. I mean, like this could absolutely kill somebody, but it's not the unicorn that's in the movie, but it's still really cool. I emailed the factory and I said, will the resin yellow? And they said, yeah, it will. Over time, it's going to yellow. And I'm like, oh, we can't release it. And then like 10 years later, you're like, why is it yellow?
Right.
So we decided to go to crystal glass, which is really, it's glass that has lead in it, but it's crystal clear. You've seen like Swarovski crystal and all of that. So that's what it's being made out of. So we had them do a 12-inch version, this is obviously not crystal.
Right. No.
They couldn't send it to me in that material. They can only send it. But that you can see is obviously a bit bigger and better direction. And we also made this a little more angled because this was straight. And we really screen matched it. I mean, it's really, 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 I mean, I would say exact, but I really can't guarantee that, but it certainly
it looks pretty close. It looks pretty close.
Right. So I was like, can you just make it 1 inch bigger? Because there was something about it. So just yesterday we got this one, and they are able, and this is a wood base, and this is the 13 inches, and I swear to you, this is the size that's in the movie.
That looks terrifying.
It does, right? And it's dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get this and you put it out, just don't fall on it.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Don't play with it, kids. All right. Just put it on the shelf and admire it.
Exactly. Yeah. That's, take it out at Christmas and put it there. But so this is going to be crystal, completely clear. It's going to be very heavy. And on the bottom, it's going to have like a gold hologram kind of sticker on it that's numbered. And so you can only get it in the Kickstarter, and no one's ever made these. So
do you hear that?
That's
folks?
why we're excited by it. 50th anniversary, got to have the unicorn.
You've got to do it. 50th anniversary. No one's ever made it. The only place you can get it is on the Kickstarter. At the Kickstarter, on the Kickstarter. There it is again in the chat room.
And it's officially licensed. I mean, it's not just like, oh, we're making these and putting them on Etsy. It's like the licensor was like, okay, I love it. I think it's great. It looks good. And
that's it.
And all that. And so between the three, the game, the book, and the unicorn, I mean, that was our way of saying, Black Christmas, we love you.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can experience the movie in different ways.
Yeah.
In very immersive ways.
Yes. Yeah. And I appreciate that you guys are doing that. Cause again, I respect the hustle. I understand it. And it's regardless of what your thoughts are. And it's no secret. I mean, in the world of horror, when it comes to popularity and obsession and fan bases and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, Black Christmas isn't a Nightmare on Elm Street or Halloween or Freddy Krueger or Ghostface or Chucky or, whatever the case is, largely because it never really spawned a franchise, and it didn't have any sequels until, well, we came along.
I was going to say,
even though we're unofficial,
your movies,
we're the only ones to have done it. We're the only ones to have done it. It had 2 remakes, right? And so it never embedded itself into the pop culture zeitgeist at the very important time when you needed that, which was in the late 70s, early 80s, and all those sequels and slasher movies were happening. So it's very niche. It's very niche. It's more popular now than I think it's ever been, thanks to the internet and, rewatches and all that kind of stuff, conventions and stuff. But it's still very, very niche. But regardless of whether you like it or not, regardless of whether you care about it or not, it is still, one of the most important and influential horror films of all time. Predates Halloween by 4 years. It was released the same day as the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre on October the 11th, 74. And at least here in Canada, I understand that when it was shipped to the States via Warner Brothers Silent Night, Evil Night, it was released in December. But but here it was October 11th. So I just think it's great what you're doing. And of course your website, I mean, you have all sorts of other games as well, which is amazing. And what a really cool thing. And so yeah, folks, please check out the Kickstarter. Anything you can help is greatly appreciated. There's only about 5 or 6 days left in the campaign.
Yeah, it ends on Thursday. So yeah.
So a week today, essentially.
Tallying up the order, and yeah, a week from today it ends. And yeah, I mean, just now or never. That's the way I look at it, and we like it. And like all of our games are not like that. I mean, when we released, we have a really cool black basket case game, which we're doing, which Armando wrote the book to.
Amazing. He's the guy. Armando's the guy. He's just the dude.
Armando is, yeah. I can't say this. No, we love working with you, Armando, so much.
Well, and also, we'd be remiss if we didn't say that the foreword on the book is written by Lynn Griffin. So yes, that's really cool as well.
Can I mention something else about Lynn Griffin?
Of course. If she's watching, hey, Lynn, what's going on?
Hey, Lynn. So we reached out to her before the Kickstarter started to say, hey, we're working on the Thanksgiving game. We're doing the Eli Roth's Thanksgiving game. And Eli mentioned Lynn, and I was like, wait, she's in the movie, and I missed her completely. I didn't realize she was in Thanksgiving.
She is, yeah, so in the opening.
And we were talking about this Black Christmas game. And so I said, I think he gave me her email. I don't know how we got in touch with her. And we reached out and we were like, hey, we're working with Eli. He loves you. And by the way, we're doing this Black Christmas game and everything. And so she makes these really amazing ornaments.
Yeah.
They're like snow globes.
Yes, I have them right here.
I
have a bunch of them because.
Oh, amazing.
These are for our Indiegogo backers, so I know exactly what you're talking about. So there they are.
Amazing. Well, let me tell you, she's doing those for us as well.
Amazing.
Yes, as I said to her, she said she made these ornaments, and we're like all Zooming with her and the board game designer and me and my partner Nate, and we're all talking, and she's like, wait, I make ornaments. And I was like, what? So anyway, just yesterday, she sent me all the pictures and pricing. So we'll be adding that to the campaign as well. And she autographs them. And so I'm so glad she helped you guys. She is the nicest person.
I know.
We all left Zoom going,
no,
she's like everyone's mom.
Yeah.
Or, she's just
true.
The nicest person.
It's
right?
true.
So,
no, there's a very motherly, warm, cozy quality to Lynn. And she was great. She's been great she was great for our campaign as well. So, generous with her time and
that's so great. She's in your sequel.
She is. Yes, she is.
Tell us about that. That's amazing.
Very cool. So yeah, she plays the sister of the character she played in the original Black Christmas.
Oh, that is so cool.
Very cool. So we knew we wanted Lynn, of course. We did have Olivia Hussey on board, but unfortunately she had to back out because of health. And Olivia was going to be reprising her role as Jess Bradford. And that was a whole thing. We launched the campaign with that. Unfortunately, Olivia's been dealing with some health issues over the years. And so we had to put out a press release a few weeks before we had to go to camera, actually. So it was kind of a bit of a scramble. But so I hope Olivia's doing well if she ever sees this, and that she's staying healthy and happy. But yeah, she's just been dealing with some things. So unfortunately, her physicians recommended that she doesn't travel, because obviously she'd have to come up to Canada and things like that. And the stress of that and all that kind of stuff might just be a little, too much. So we had to recast that with the amazing, incredible Lisa Kovac, who has stepped in to play Jess Bradford, who is almost the spitting image of Olivia, if I do say so myself. She did a fantastic job. You guys are going to love what she's done. But yeah, so Lynn, we knew we wanted Lynn, and we reached out, and Lynn and I actually have the same voiceover agent, which I discovered about 2 years ago, which I thought was kind of cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So anyway, I reached out to her, and we got on a Zoom call, myself and Lynn and Bruce, and we pitched the idea, and she loved it. She thought it was great. Now we had to go back and watch the original film and make sure that there wasn't a mention of Claire being an only child or something like that, and there wasn't. She could have had a sister. We don't know, right? So we thought, well, why don't we, here's the idea, here's the pitch. Why don't you come back? I mean, your character's dead, so, how are we going to get you back? Well, you're going to play the sister of the character that you played in the original. And so that's what she's done. And her sister, Nancy is her name. She spent the last 50 years of her life unconvinced that what the police said about the murders and all this kind of stuff is not true. She became she was a young cop at that time, years and years ago, and she spent the vast majority of her life, I mean, she went on and did other cases and things like that, but it was always in the back of her head, that gnawing feeling that her sister's murder was unsolved. And so she's in this hell-bent on finally solving it and bringing peace to herself and to her sister Claire. So really cool, and she's great in the film.
You filmed everything. It
is all done. We started production in November of 2023, and we ended production in January. Again, it's a short film. The first It's Me, Billy was about 42 minutes long with credits.
Yeah.
Chapter 2 will be, I don't know if this is the first time I'm saying this, but it'll probably be about 42 minutes in and around there without credits. So you're maybe looking at 45 or 46 minutes total. Cool. So if you butt the two films together, you have a feature, which is pretty cool. So yeah, she's great in it. Lynn, you're fantastic in it. She was great in the trailer. If you guys haven't seen the trailer, she's great in the trailer. She carries it. And yeah, just awesome to work with a thinking actor, is that how you say that? A thinking actor? Love that. She's on the ball. She knows her shit. You can tell that she's got loads of experience, and she's just fantastic in it. Great to work with. Wow. Great to collaborate with, hear ideas, all that kind of stuff. I mean, she's fantastic. So really excited to have her return to the world.
Out this year?
It is on Friday, October 11th.
I'm going to have a watch party or something.
Yeah.
For your first movie, I was so into it, and I was like, "This is great." I mean, I'm afraid, it's like when I started watching, I'm like, "This can't be good." I'm going to be disappointed. You know what I mean? Like because it's such it's Black Christmas, man. It's not, And I loved it. And I told everyone about it. I was like, "You got to watch it. It's great." Some of the fan-made films some of them are great, some of them aren't, and so. Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'm just conditioned to be like, it's not going to be good.
Well, look, no, it's.
I'm not being a jerk.
No,
I'm saying the credit. It's like this. It was great. It was great. So I can't wait for the sequel.
I appreciate you saying that, and you're bang on. Look, I mean, it's. We knew when we began this journey that we wanted to make a profession. We wanted to deliver a professional product from top to bottom. And so again, we work in the industry here in Canada, so we wanted to utilize our resources and connections to be able to make a quote unquote real film. And, and I say that because obviously the stigma around fan films, right? When you hear the words fan film, obviously think of a couple of guys in their backyards on their dad's camcorder with their friends. And that's okay. I mean, that's so, but for us, because we didn't own the intellectual property, or we don't have the rights to the intellectual property, legally, we had to put fan film on it. It's not for profit. Right. We don't make anything from it. So it will be released online for free. And so, but with fan film, right? Fan film comes the stigma. So it's always, and then it's rendered even more difficult because it's Black Christmas and it's very niche, right? So to get eyeballs on it, you know, it can be tough. But no, we would have gone about it the same way if we were shooting a film that had nothing to do with it. It was totally, you know, the crew, the actors, all professionals here in Canada's film and TV industry. So, so we're very excited. We wanted to do something special for Black Christmas. It's never been done. We're Canadian from Toronto. Who better to do it than two Canadian filmmakers from Toronto, right? And so we wanted to do something special and honor it. And so the first part came out 3 years ago. We could only take it so far because we only had so much money. And then we finally crowdfunded our campaign for Chapter 2, raised more than double our production budget on the first film, which is great. And
that's amazing.
Chapter 2 picks up immediately where the first one left off. So as you know, at the end of the first one, there's that big cliffhanger, and then Chapter 2 begins right there. Right back there is where we go, and we just continue. So it's like a Halloween 1, Halloween 2 thing.
Cut it together, man.
Well, that's what we want to do. We want to submit it to festivals, but we can't submit Chapter 2 on its own. So we have to butt the two films together, create like a feature, and that's what we would submit to festivals.
Amazing.
So yeah, we're excited. Friday, October 11th.
Like then between the three of us, like we're cornering, we're like really respecting the material and what Bob Clark created, and you know, and I think that's I mean, some of the studios that remake these movies, you know, that you can tell that it's like I mean, I like a lot of the remakes, but some of them aren't that great and everything, and you just kind of feel like they really should be in the hands of the right people. Yeah. That's how you'll get a great product. Yeah,
I totally agree. I mean, it was one of our goals when we did the first chapter, was to deliver a film that felt like it lived and breathed in the same universe. So, you know, as you know, because you've seen it, it's not a blood, guts, and gore film. It's not, you know, it relies more on the theater of the mind, the psychological, because that's what the original film was. And so we want people to watch the original film and then watch It's Me, Billy, and feel like it's canonically connected. It doesn't feel like it's, you know, removed from that stylistically. So, yeah, I think, I know a lot of people aren't fans of it because it's kind of slow, it's boring, it's dated. You know, I get it, I understand, but for me and for you, obviously, and you know, for us here, I mean, it is quintessential old school Hitchcockian type of stuff that I just absolutely love.
It's terrifying.
It is.
It really is very unnerving, and you know, even I watched it. I haven't watched it like in the past month, but in doing the board game, I watched it again. And even our board game designer is a huge horror movie fan, loves Black Christmas, knew exactly how to tackle the game. It wasn't like we hired a board game designer and he was like, I can design whatever you want, but I don't love horror. That's not what we're doing here. We're working. Our entire team is just like, you know, we're super fans and we're artists at the same time. And so we're using, you know, all those skills to put our hearts into these, you know, so like the amount of discussions we've had on the unicorns is like, it's been so
it
many,
looks
like,
so good.
Of emails, and like the 3D modeler was like sick of me, and I'm like, you can you just make this a little, you know, and but that's what it needs. And you know what, I bet Bob Clark did the same damn thing on his movie. He meticulously crafted the shots and everything, and that's what it takes to create something great. Yeah. So yeah,
I could not agree more. It's unnerving, and it's so important to be able to you know, and it's funny because I think you bring up a good point. You know, when you say, you know, I talked to this person, like, oh, I'm a big Black Christmas fan. I talked to this one, oh, I'm a big Black. I think, and it's probably like this with a lot of sort of the niche-y kind of things, there's probably a lot more Black Christmas fans out there than we realize. But
I think there are.
But because, like I said earlier, because it never embedded itself into that pop culture zeitgeist, there's, you know, I say that a lot on the channel, but it's true. Because it never embedded itself there because only had one film, and its release in the US was problematic, right? It didn't do very well because its name was changed to Silent Night, Evil Night, because Warner Brothers thought people would think it's a blaxploitation film. Then its network premiere in the late 70s, the name was changed again to Stranger in the House, but then they had to cancel the premiere because Ted Bundy was caught, and what was Ted Bundy famous for? Murdering sorority girls. So, I mean, its journey in the States was, it never really had its go.
There isn't like a costume, he's not got the hot mask, he doesn't have the ghost face mask,
Yes.
And that's I was just at Midsummer Scream a couple weeks ago, which is like a midsummer horror convention. Thousands, like 30,000 people go to it, and everyone's walking around with Art the Clown and Michael Myers, and what are you gonna do for Billy?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like,
well, I guess you could look
a unicorn now.
You could look at our films and you could say, well, I need long hair, I need like a plaid sort of shirt and scrubby looking pants and the unicorn. That's what you need. It's just unicorn. Walk around with that, perhaps. Yeah. No, it's true. You make a very good point, that immediately identifiable sort of villain, right? You know what I mean? That has a costume or a look. So that's a good point too. But I think
he's great for the character is great for a novel.
Yes.
And I'm just telling you, like, back to Armando, what was your challenge in, because like taking the killer for like Silent Night, Deadly Night, Billy, he was a realized character with this very specific look, and we all know him. What was your challenge in writing Billy taking it from the movie? Like there's not a lot of Billy in the movie. You don't even see the guy. You just see like glimpses of him, How was that a challenge for you in writing?
That's a good question.
The Billy character.
I approach him differently than I approached any of the other villains that I've written, but it kind of required that. And the thing with Billy is there's a lot of vagueness in the movie in regards to him. He does not, he's never seen fully, except in shadow. And so there's a lot of mystery involved. Same with his background. But Black Christmas being one of the first heavy killer POV films, we actually do spend a lot of time and scenes just with Billy in the movie. And because of that, he had to have more of a presence in the book. We have to spend that time with him again, but we have to understand what what the madness is going on in his head without ever explaining where it comes from. And so that's there's a lot of sleight of hand involved with writing Billy, but as I tackle it, he surprises me at times, and he scares me at times, and that's part of the fun of writing this. I'm spending so much time and so meticulously crafting Billy to be just pitch perfect, right, and scary and identifiable as what we know. Yeah. And in a lot of ways, that reflects what Bob Clark did. He was so specific in the sounds and the presentation. There is a lot of crafting that has to go into creating Billy in a book. And so it's a different kind of he's a different kind of villain. He's not fun like a lot of these killers. We can be scared of these killers too, like say the miner in My Bloody Valentine. He's intimidating, he's scary, but he's not scary like Billy is scary.
Right.
He's not that everyman who's hiding in your closet. So I hope readers are as creeped out as I am by the experience of reading it and spending that time with Billy. But, on the flip side, we're spending more time with all of these incredible characters. And that's really the ultimate joy of Black Christmas. It has one of the greatest casts of characters to deal with.
Yeah, it does.
They're so complex and rich, and to really dive into their lives and their desires and wants and dreams and their terror it's delicious to deal with them individually and them and how they interact with each other. So this whole, Black Christmas is just a gift of riches,
Right.
when it comes to writing, to have such great characters to play with. But Billy is scary and he's tricky. And I think I think readers will be really surprised at how unsettling the book will be.
I'm excited to read it.
I've read almost half of it, and everything you're doing is so, and from a fan of the film,
Right.
it's just amazing. I mean, the thing about all these books, I mean, like, Happy Birthday to Me, Silent Night, Deadly Night, My Bloody Valentine, and Basket Case will be released in October. You can still actually get Basket Case if you go to stopthekiller.com. So that's available for pre-order right now.
Okay.
And they sell out, and once they're gone, they're gone. And we plan on going to ebooks and audiobooks at some point, but you want to get like the hardcover. But what Armando does, and what I love, and I've told Armando this a million times, is that it's just not a scene for scene retelling of the movie.
Yes.
Which I think is pointless. I mean,
Right.
It's great if you want to, like those pocketbooks, from years ago. It's like, that was the point. It's like, get to read it. If you can't go to the movies, you can read it, whatever. But I'm surprised the licensors are giving us because I mean, when a movie is executed, the movie it's an expression of an artist's idea. So to take something and add 5 new characters and 3 new kills and whatever, it's like you're almost changing the source material. And so I thought we were not going to be able to do that, and that's not been the case. We've actually been able. Armando said, like, the freedom he has, the beauty in that is being able to write what he wants, and it all feels like it fits in the movie. So any one of these books you'll love.
Well, that's what's really cool about it.
So proud to have them.
Yeah, is that it, like I said earlier, it almost, and because of the material that, Armando, you have to work with, the screenplay being so long, so much in there that didn't wind up in the film, and being able to combine your ideas with sort of what you see here. And it's almost, again, for all intents and purposes, it's almost acting like this quote unquote director's cut, in some sort of kind of interesting way. It's or the extended cut. You want to envision Black Christmas, the extended cut. I always wish there were more kills. I wish there were more sorority girls. Well, here you go. You know what I mean? And it's like, and it's packaged.
You said, Armando, you said that in the script there was a lot of extra characters. Like, there's this chatter in the background of all these girls, right?
Right.
In the sorority house.
Well, that's true too. Even when the film opens, I mean, yes, we're introduced to, Claire and Phil and Barb and Olivia's
it's a sorority
character,
house, so.
right? But there's like 4 or 5 others there that are on the peripheral, that are sort of there, especially when the first phone call, comes in. There's a few of them there that we never see again because they safely, got home, I guess, for the holidays. But what if they didn't? What if a few of those characters ended up being more principles in the story? You know what I mean? Sure. And that's
the approach. Yeah.
Yes. And that's cool. I like that. You're not reinventing it. You're just sort of taking what's already there, building on it. And I think that's a really cool thing to do, especially for the 50th anniversary, something
and
unique.
in a novel, you can do that. I mean, Black Christmas, would it have been the great film it was if it was 4 hours long? Like, you don't
Probably
want,
not.
The director has a different responsibility than an author.
Right.
It's a different medium. And so you carry that much story in a movie. And so of course there's, characters, or 160 pages was never going to make it to the screen.
That's it.
But it can in a book.
Well, and having that opportunity to be, descriptive and sort of really build that suspense and that tension through writing. I mean, I can understand how you can get really excited about complementing what's already there. I think is really, really cool. So, I'm looking forward to picking it up, reading it when it's available, and we'll send you
a copy.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome, because I'd love to take a crack at it. Maybe I'll read the whole thing here on the channel or something. One night.
So I have a couple prizes that I can give away.
Yes,
in the raffle if
yes,
you guys want.
Yes. Let's talk about this. So a couple of prizes. You know what? I'll just hand the floor over to you because you know what you're talking about. So
Sure,
go ahead, Anthony. I'll shut up.
So I mentioned our Hexdex card series, and we've done a whole bunch of them. Today, I can actually mention this. We did a hex deck for Krampus in uh, partnership with the Shout Factory. They're releasing a 4K UHD, and they're releasing like a gingerbread plushie and whatever. And our hex deck for Krampus, which is right here, I can actually show you the product. Is going to be it's a card game. It's going to be part of that. So if you
Very
go over
cool.
to Shout Factory and pre-order that, you'll actually get it. You can only get it there. We're not selling it on our site. It's a partnership through them. But right now we have available. We have both Ghostface hex decks. One is the purple variant, and the other one is like a. It's called the candy corn variant. It's just it's the same game. It's just got a different color palette. We have Happy Birthday to Me, which you play by yourself on your birthday.
Oh,
Get it?
yep.
And we have Silent Night, Deadly Night, which is really fun. And we have Candyman, and the Candyman one is really fun. We did this in partnership with Fright Rags, and there's these mirror cards in them.
Oh, fuck, that's amazing.
And so what you're doing, you know the story. You look in the mirror and name 5 times, and he appears.
Don't say it.
But,
Don't say
right.
it.
Don't say his name. So you put the mirrors down and you're building out a beehive around these mirrors. And as you're doing that, Candyman is showing up. And if you can complete your hive before the 5th Candyman card shows up, you win. And if not, he kills you. Not really.
Amazing. Well, you never know. No.
Right. I've never done it. I'm afraid to say Candyman. Have you guys said Candyman 5 times in a mirror?
I think when I was a kid, baby.
You did.
I think so.
That's how you die. You know,
I did.
Not so
That's why I can't remember anything from January of 1992 through February of 96. Anyway, yeah.
Exactly. So, but we also on the Kickstarter announced a Black Christmas hex deck, which I don't have a sample of now. We just submitted the artwork to the printer. So we're going to do this. I'm just going to read 3 trivia questions one by one. And so I might
be able to bring up the artwork actually, because I had put it on. Yeah. Let me just go grab it.
I'll just, in a nutshell, the way that you play the hex decks is the same. So no matter which one you got, you can play this, you can play this one. You're matching symbols on the edges of the cards. It's an edge matching solitaire game. And so you're just matching some symbols to create a spread of cards. Okay. And there's these conflict cards, and they're kill cards. In Candyman, it's Candyman is showing up. In Silent Night, Deadly Night, it's the image, it's the punish and naughty in your head that's showing up. And so it's basically an edge matching. So in the Black Christmas game, the story is that you're decorating a tree with you play Jess in the game. And you and the girls are decorating your tree in the sorority house, and you keep getting these offensive, we call them creepy or prank phone calls. And so as this is happening, the kills are showing up. So we've got Barb's kill, Phil's kill, Claire's kill, Mrs. Mack, and we have the cop who's got his throat slit. So these 5 cards are in the game, and so the symbols are the telephone, because it's a phone number. You're trying to basically you're trying to trace the call, like the board game. You're trying to trace the call.
Very cool.
And a little police like detective badge, and so each card has a different configuration of the symbols, and that's the way the game works. And so you just have to play it once. You'll know how to play it. On the Stop the Killer website, there's a how-to video on how to play any hex deck. Go watch that, and we use Silent Night, Deadly Night as like the example. Just watch that, and in a couple of minutes, you'll know how to play the game. So here's what we'll do. I'll read a question, 3 questions about Black Christmas. The first person in the chat to type the correct answer will win.
Will win. Right? Okay. And how do they get into? Would they email you through your website, or how would they get in touch with you?
So what you can tell me is this: if you want the Black Christmas hex deck, you just have to wait until December, like everyone, because we're not going to have them shipped out. And if you win, just email Anthony. I'm Anthony at stopthekillergames@gmail.com. So it's stopthekillergames@gmail.com, and just say, hey, Anthony, I was on the live stream. I'm so-and-so, and I like this particular deck. But if you want it now, if you want your prize now, you can pick between Silent Night, Deadly Night, Candyman, Happy Birthday to Me, or the Ghostface ones. So, so it just depends on which deck you want, and that'll depend on when you get it. So, all right. So I'll read the first question. They're not hard. Actually, one of them is hard. I'll read them backwards because the first one is hard. Okay, so question number 1. Drum roll. Everyone listen.
Here we go. Quiet, everybody. This is it. Get your fingers ready.
What is the name of the sorority in Black Christmas?
Ooh, even I am struggling with that one.
I have to look at when I was designing the decks. I design the card games. I don't design all of our games, but I designed the hex decks, and I was like, "What the hell's the name of that sorority?" And I never remember.
I can
it.
kind of hear the rhythm in my head. Do you know?
Right.
You know the papa, mama, papa, papa. You know, like I can hear the rhythm. But yeah. Okay, that's a good one.
All right, I'm watching the
Yep.
the.
Let's see here. Oh,
Close.
No, it's all.
Close.
It's always kappa or something.
Right, exactly. It's like,
Ooh.
so everybody's well. Okay, we'll just continue talking.
Yeah.
While,
We'll just see here.
while they're writing.
Somebody's looking it up right now.
Yeah,
you
but
know.
like, why would you know that? And but there is an actual name of it, and
There
we
is.
put it in the ad copy on the box.
Mm.
Alpha Kappa Epsilon, no. Kappa Kappa Pi, no. Pi Kappa 6, no. Alpha Kappa, no.
Mm.
Well, Kappa is in it.
Well, there you go. Kappa's
All
in
right,
it.
well, it looks a little challenging. So there's 3 words in it,
Okay.
and the first are some people have guessed the first 2. So it's Pi Kappa what? Pi Kappa.
Anybody
The
gonna?
last word.
I'm surprised the people
Come on,
aren't
Black Christmas
aren't
fans.
phoning a friend or Googling it. I don't know. We're gonna see her Pi Kappa. I think I can hear it in my head, but I'm not gonna say it.
So here's an example of what one of the cards looks like. So this is from the Ghostface game.
Oh,
So the
that's
symbols
cool.
here are, this should sharpen. I have a focusing camera. It just takes a second.
That's okay.
Um,
Looks good here.
so the symbols are like blue mask, white mask, and red mask.
Mm.
Oh man, Warren, you're so
You're
close,
so
Warren.
close.
And then the other side is the same configuration, it just has a different background. And so what you're doing is you're trying to match symbols. So when you're building your spread, you would match, these 2 white. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong side here.
That's
Because
okay.
I'm looking at that's a match, right? And then when you're putting down the next card, you have to match the 2 reds.
Right.
And so you find a card and you match that right here.
Right.
Oh my God, I feel like I'm right. And so there's a way to do it. I mean, it's not just like, oh, you just find the next card.
Gotcha.
But it's really fun, and we play them all the time at the office. And
That'd be great if you're like on the plane or if you're traveling somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. It fits in your pocket. I mean, it's a big pocket, but like to show you the size, like my head isn't that big. So
Could fit. My head's a melon.
Right, so somebody had to have said it. So let's see. Pi Kappa Sigma. That is the answer. So the first person that said Pi Kappa Sigma.
Looks like it was.
Warren said Kappa Sigma Pi. It was close, Warren. I got to tell you.
Lucius the Killer might have got it.
Lucius the Killer. All right.
I think
so.
It was,
Lucius the Killer. Yep. I don't know your name, or your real name, unless that's your real name.
Lucius Killer. Yeah.
So Lucius, just email Anthony. I'm Anthony at stopthekillergames@gmail.com,
Yeah.
and just tell me that you won one of the hex decks, and tell me which one you want, and then I'll just make sure you get it. So, happy birthday to me, Candyman. What was it? Silent Night, Deadly Night, or Ghostface, or Black Christmas. So the other ones you'll get sooner, and Black Christmas you'll get in December. All right, let's ask the second question.
All right.
Okay, this I had to actually look up because in designing the hex deck, we were including one of these. What does Mrs. Mack drink in the film? There's a very specific type, and we know that she hides her liquor in the toilet. And all that. But I zoomed in on the label because we're putting an extra component in the Black Christmas game, which these little tokens. So you get to see Claude, you get to see Barb's alcohol.
Amazing.
You get to see the fire poker as like a little toker, and these tokens actually help you complete your spread.
Right.
But there was Mrs. Mack's alcohol, and I was like, but what does she drink? And we had to look for it. And now I'm on the hunt for it because I'm like, now that I know the brand,
right.
And you don't need the brand, you just need like the type of liquor to win the trivia.
Okay.
I'm dying to get it because I have to, right?
It's a deep cut.
So let's see. Right. I always thought it was like vodka or whatever. So whoever said sherry, the first person that sherry wins. So
it looks like it's NKB guy.
NKB guy. All right, NKB guy. You're right. It's sherry, and it's actually a Italian Swiss colony straight sherry. It says straight sherry on it. So Mrs. Mack is drinking sherry from a bottle out of a toilet.
I know. Out of the back of the toilet.
Problem.
Yeah. Where all the water is, I guess. You know, it fills up, it rises, and it lowers every time somebody flushes the toilet. You know,
it's amazing. And she rinses her teeth after brushing. Like, come on, I love Mrs. Mack. And by the way, Armando, what he does with Mrs. Mack is great. So if I haven't read everything you've done with her, but Armando, I love. You want to share anything about Mrs. Mack?
Any preview? No? Any tease?
Yeah, I think I revealed this on the last podcast, which was the first we did on this. But there is in the screenplay an extended sequence with Mrs. Mack that I just absolutely fell in love with, and I just knew it would be so much fun. But there's a lot of teasing in the film about her being a past vaudeville star, and there is a musical number that she actually performs in the script. And so putting that an actual like vaudeville burlesque type performance with Mrs. Mack was just like,
is it like a completely inebriated performance?
Close to it,
somewhat.
In the movie, she comes home and they're all so happy to see her, and they fawn all over her, and they're like, they get her a gift, and they're like, "You're amazing," like, you know. And I did kind of feel like, yeah, like it was kind of building to something. And in the movie, she's just kind of like the side character that the audience enjoys.
Yeah.
But so the opportunity, like Armando, you ran with it, and it's great. It's so
it really is the payoff for her character.
Is she kicking out her leg really, too, and like throwing it up in the air? And
absolutely. She remembers her old routines. She's great.
If anyone's been in like ever like been in like an acting class or like in a play like in high school or whatever, there's always like that lady that's like over the top. Yeah. Like that's Mrs. Mack, and you just love her for it.
Start spreading the news.
Right, exactly. Like she gives the finger and she's like, Claude, I'm gonna get you fixed. Like she's got this bite to her,
right?
That I could see. Like I didn't realize that was in the script, and when you told me, I'm like, oh my god, please put that in the book.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
So
that's awesome. Oh, and NKB guy again, email Anthony at stopthekillergames@gmail.
No. It's stopthekillergames@gmail.com.
Excuse me, email Anthony at stopthekillergames@gmail.com. That's what I should have said.
And just tell me which deck you want, and I'll still hold them one more time up here to show you which the titles are.
Amazing.
Hold on. I don't know if you can see them. All right, the last question is, and this I have to be honest, I didn't know that. What was the original title of the scripts that became Black Christmas?
Ooh, I know that one. Ooh.
That's a tough one. Like, I guess if you're a fan of the movie, you know, whatever. If you're diehard, you'll probably know it.
Yeah.
But I love the title. I think it's a great title.
I do too. And yeah, I think it could have worked. It could have worked.
Yeah. Do you think Black Christmas is a fitting title for the movie?
Yeah, I do, because black in that sense. We got it.
Oh my God! And
NKB guy again.
On fire.
He's on fire. He just nudged out Entertainment Wizard, just by a hair. Entertainment Wizard.
All right, NKB guy, you get 2 of them. So, congrats for being so knowledgeable. Awesome. Cool. Well, just email me. Let me know which decks you want. I'm happy to send them out, and it'll sort of introduce a game, a game to you.
Yeah.
It's something we've done Halloween too. We're doing Thanksgiving. We did Basket Case. I guess I can mention we're doing Madman. We haven't announced it yet, but we're doing a Madman board game, which I just test played today with our designer. It's so fun. The board is shaped like a giant axe. It's amazing.
Very cool.
And just go to the website and check out what we have. I mean,
yeah, it's a great website with lots of games and more, no doubt, on the way. Anthony, can you hold up the game again? I wanna bring you up a bit larger here.
Okay.
Hang on a sec here.
Oh, this?
No, the actual game. Yeah. One second here. Yeah. There we go.
And the back is, this is a prototype. There will be a back to it and everything.
Right. Let me just bring this up.
It's the lighting is crappy. The product looks so much better like in person, but like this is as you can see, as you're turning it, you're able to like kind of look inside the house.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It's going to look great. It's going to be polished. Like this plastic is a little scratched. And again, like this was
it's a prototype, right? So
together.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the entire illustration of the women decorating the tree, and that's Jess and Claire and
Right.
Barb. It's an incredible. I mean, if you look at the image
Right.
without looking through the window, it's this gorgeous shot of
Right.
these girls. And when we're designing the game, the layout of the game is actually the inside of the house. But if you watch the movie, it's very difficult to figure out what the actual layout is. Try it. Go in and be like, okay, like if you went into like draw a picture of the interior of the house, you won't be able to because it's a little. We did what we could to
Right.
make it work. It's great. But it's not the movie. It's sort of a new experience. It's a retelling of Black Christmas, our board game, and
Right.
so we created the look of the house. And you don't see it here, but there's a stairway here, and you will see it because inside you're going to get a full 24 by 24-inch poster, and there's a stairway, and it's almost like you can envision the shadow of Billy like walking down the
That's
stairs
awesome.
as they're decorating the house. So right, and the artist just did an amazing job, and also that photo is the cover of the rule book, which is the size of the box, and so you'll be able to appreciate the artwork without having to look through the window.
Right. Of course.
But everything about the game has been very carefully, it's been very thoughtful, and the gameplay is so fun. And it's, and you can play it by yourself, by the way.
Oh,
You
that's
can play the
cool.
game completely by yourself. So,
That's really cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
real
well,
cool.
listen, again, folks, I just put the link to the Kickstarter into the chat room.
Thank you, Dave.
No problem. Feel free to check it out. Support this. This is a really, really cool game, and I think what I'm most impressed by is the level of TLC that is put into it. Just the detail from Armando's book to the unicorn to the little and go to the Kickstarter because there's images on there that I haven't shown here. You're going to see what like the board is going to look like. You're going to see all the cards
Yes.
with the faces of the characters, what, the little tabletop
Yep.
things. And then, like the little phone that you're going to be able to have. And like, there's the detail.
Yeah, you get to see the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The detail that's gone into it is absolutely incredible. And again, it's like Indiegogo. Obviously, my viewers are familiar with Indiegogo, so it's a similar thing. The different tiers, lots of ways to support. And it's also officially licensed. It's an officially licensed game, so that's pretty cool to have as well. And when do you start, or do you anticipate being able to sort of ship these things out? Or
In
is it
December, we made sure that the
December?
game was designed earlier in the year. We didn't wait. We're not waiting until the Kickstarter ends to start putting things together.
Right.
We have enough backers, enough experience to know that that we would reach our funding goal. So we started designing it. And as you can see, I actually, this is just the box, but the factory is sending me, they probably already mailed it already, an actual working prototype of the board and all of that. And so it's all designed. It's just a matter of now getting the printing order in place, but you will get it in December. So this Christmas, you'll be playing Basket Case the game, reading the book. Same thing with the book. Like Armando's
Amazing.
writing in record time.
I mean, think.
Armando, I don't know how he still says, I don't know how you do it. Are you writing 3 books a year? And
I don't know.
they're great. So
He's a
like, yeah,
machine. He's a machine.
Yeah.
He's dishing it. But that's so cool because you're gonna have Armando's book, you're gonna have the Black Christmas board game, and you're gonna be able to watch Black Christmas, Billy 1, and It's Me Billy Chapter 2 all this Christmas. I mean, what a way to
It's the
celebrate the
50th
50th anniversary.
everybody.
I mean, think about
Right.
that. I mean, that's pretty, and that's the best way to do it too, is to watch the original, then watch It's Me Billy, then watch It's Me Billy 2,
Billy too.
and then play the game with your friends. And that's just
Right.
what, or play the
And
game
then
with your
play the
friends while
card
the movie
game
is on in
while
the
you're-
background.
and play the card game while you're watching the movie. That's what I do. Like if I'm playing, Happy Birthday to Me, I put it on and I just, it's so cool.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you pre-order Black Christmas, you can order the Black Christmas book on our website as well. So,
Awesome.
and it comes autographed by Armando, and you also get this really cool bookmark with it. And again, these are just exclusives. And if the book ever gets printed as like a pocketbook size or ebook or something, it won't come autographed, But so if you love these movies like us, you want the best version of it.
That's
So
it. That's it.
pick up the hardcover. Yes.
Pick up the hardcover. Armando, any last things you'd like to say before we skedaddle?
Oh, I just am looking forward to our Black Christmas.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Hey, if you're a Black Christmas fan, again, it's the 50th anniversary this year. Us hardcore, deep cut Black Christmas fans are trying to get the word out there and trying to celebrate the 50th anniversary this year. And this is one hell of a way to do it. So again, I just put the link. Sorry?
We're living it.
100%. 100%. I just put the link again to the Kickstarter in the chat room. There's only about, I guess, a week left. It ends next Thursday is the final day.
Thursday at 1 o'clock.
At 1 o'clock Pacific time.
Pacific,
so that would be, 4 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you get in on it. Go over, check it out. You know what I mean? Any little bit helps, guys. Every little bit helps. And I think it's really, really cool. So Armando, Anthony, thank you for coming on here today. I really appreciate you.
So fun.
Yeah, for sure. It was great to have you guys on and connect and chat Black Christmas. You know, us niche, nerdy Black Christmas fans need to unite, you know? so it's just awesome. Yeah, hang around. We'll have sort of a formal goodbye after the stream is disconnected. But anyways, folks, that's going to do it for this episode of McRae Live. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you're watching after the fact, jump into the comment section. Let me know your thoughts about anything we had to say here today. And I will also pin at the top of the chat of the comments section a link to the Kickstarter as well. Once I get off here, I will go ahead and do that. So head on over there and check it out, because this is, if you're a Black Christmas fan, it's really, really cool. So yeah, again, Anthony, Armando, thank you for coming on, and thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will talk to you all soon. All righty. Oh, hang on, I better get my finger. There we go. All right. Cheers.